Hey, this is Mark,
And this is Kendrick.
and this is Movies in Black and White.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about a movie called Underwater.
I would hope we're talking about a movie. It's kind of the theme for our whole shebang here,
Well,
Mark.
you know, you gotta surprise people sometimes. But no, the movie's Underwater, starring Kristen Stewart. It was a very good, I think it was a good movie. I thought it was a little predictable myself, but it was a good movie. It was entertaining, fast-paced, and action from start to finish.
It was very interesting. Like, yeah, it was predictable, but at this point, any type of movie like this is
It's
90% going to be
yeah.
predictable. I mean,
Yeah.
there was one scene, and we'll get to that later, where I was like, oh shit. But
Right.
it was very predictable up until that point, and I was okay with that. It was a very good movie. It was very atmospheric. Like, you got
It
you
was
into it
atmospheric.
quickly. I could have done without the voiceover bits. Like, yeah, it gave a little nice
the
little insight to her
story-
character.
Right, correct.
But I could have done without that. The acting, they had a really good cast. Like a really, really good cast, and they all played well.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they really bounced off each other pretty good. It was believable that they had been working together for a long time. It was
Mhm.
believable that they, you know,
Well, if
as
they
they
didn't
were
know
going through this-
each other, they knew of each other. But
Right.
the ones that survived the first initial accident really did know each other.
they did.
Real quick little summary on this movie. It was made by William Eubank. It was directed by him. Hasn't really done anything super noticeable. I mean, a movie called Love, which I've never heard of,
All right.
and The Signal, which that one sounds familiar. It's got Lawrence Fishburne in it.
Yeah, it was a movie that they had picked up a signal from outer space.
Mhm.
It's a real big twist at the end
Okay.
because Lawrence Fishburne's character is actually part of the whole you think he's a human being, but it's really he's part of a alien
Oh,
conclave.
yeah. Okay.
It's pretty good. So
Good movie.
it's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Well, this
It's a
guy's
Saturday afternoon watch if you want to do it.
This movie's not doing super hot right now at the box office. It's
Right.
got a $50 to $80 million budget. It's kind of a guesstimate right now. They didn't officially say, but right now, currently, it's sitting at $33.6 million,
Right.
which that sucks. Like,
And it was a 52% Rotten Tomato score.
yeah,
as I saw.
it didn't do super hot with the critics. Oh, it's
Right.
50% with the consensus saying underwater strong cast and stylish direction aren't enough to distract from the strong sense of deja vu provoked by this claustrophobic thriller's derivative story. Yes and no. I don't think it's derivative, but it is kind of deja vu because it pulls from a lot of those elements. It's very
Yeah.
alien feeling.
It's very Leviathan, like I said, very Abyss, and like you said, Alien. You throw all those in there. If you amalgamated all those things into one, that's what it would be.
Oh, this movie's way better than Leviathan, though.
Yeah, it is
Leviathan.
better than Leviathan, but I'm like,
Okay, I'm sorry. Did
No.
RoboCop bank shot anything to anybody's
Listen,
mouth?
man.
No, they did not in this
listen
movie.
here, pal.
That ruined the whole movie for me.
Yeah.
He literally just bank
Bank
shotted that
shot,
in there.
yeah.
Full on basketball shot
Yeah,
that
it's
shit.
not good.
It was hilarious. So the cast is Kristen Stewart, Vincent Cassell, T.J. Miller, Jessica Henwick, John Gallagher Jr. I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of this name. Mahmoudou Afi and Gunnar Wright. Obviously, everybody knows Kristen Stewart of Twilight fame.
Right.
Vincent Cassel, he is a French actor, I believe.
Very good actor. I've liked him in a lot of different things he's been
He
in.
was in the Ocean's movies. He
Yeah.
was the one that they went up against in Ocean's 12, and then
Yes.
he was in the background of 13.
Right.
And then more recently, he was in Jason Bourne. He was the bad guy in Jason Bourne. And another big notable film of his was Black Swan.
Yes.
So he's been in some good
Yeah,
stuff. Everybody knows T.J. Miller at this point. He's in
Yeah.
Deadpool and Silicon Valley. Was he in that? Yeah. And then Jessica Henwick, she was in Iron Fist, and she was like
Yes.
one of the highlights of that show. One of the
Wait.
very few highlights of that show. And then she was also, I found this out the other day, she was up for the role of Rey.
Really?
She auditioned for 6 months before Abrams finally decided on Daisy Ridley.
Wow.
Yeah, I did not know that. So I mean, it was a really good cast. You know,
Good
very
casting.
enjoyable. The banter, especially with T.J. Miller,
Yeah, he's always gonna
Yeah, he was funny.
bring the comedic.
his little bunny
time
rabbit
into
that
it.
he kept with
Yes.
him. That was cute.
Snowball.
It was a snowball. It was cute. I will say there was a few parts where I was like, nope, fuck this. There's a reason I don't go scuba diving or anything like that. You never know what's in that goddamn water, and things can move so fast. So like when they're sitting, the one scene that always bugged me was when they were sitting on that little buoy with a light buoy,
Yeah.
And you see the creature kind of like keep poking its head around and the eyes flashing. Fuck all that noise. I'm out.
Oh yeah. But
Too
this
much.
is 6 miles, 7 miles.
7 miles, yeah.
Under the ocean.
It's in the Mariana Trench. It's some kind of futuristic thing where they're drilling to the Earth's core.
Exactly.
And it's your typical, we dug too deep situation.
Yes.
The way the movie starts out, though, is just Kristen Stewart's in a bathroom brushing her teeth. A lot of shots of her in her underwear and bra in this movie. It was surprising. Like a lot of shots of that.
Yeah, like you said, it calls back to Aliens, kind of Ripley type situation. And I think that was almost what her character was going for at times, was, that type of really strong female lead that, was going to lead everybody out of this danger. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did give you that Ripley vibe. She's nowhere near as cool as Ripley though, but
no,
they did a really good job of like showing them panicking and like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. And then what was really cool was like, they're 7 miles underwater, and they explained that's a lot of pressure. So their suits that they wear,
8 tons
of
per
pressure.
square inch.
Yeah, of pressure.
Yeah.
So like the big one that you saw was one of the guys' helmets that he put on was cracked, and he knew it was cracked, but he gave everybody else the good one. He was probably praying to God, please don't break, please don't break.
Well, they killed the black guy first. What the heck is it about? What's up with that?
Dude, just accept it at this point. It always happens. And then that rare movie where the black guy survives, you're like, hey! But his suit cracked, and he just blew into pieces. I mean, it was an explosion.
Horrible.
Because their suits also have that battery pack that filters their air, so when that blows, it causes an explosion. But I was just like, oh my God, that was brutal.
There's just parts of this guy all over the place. They had to wade through it.
There was some gruesome deaths.
Yeah,
they really went for the gusto with some of those deaths. T.J. Miller's
death.
Yeah, I was sad to see him go. I was like, please don't kill him.
Ate him out of the suit.
Yeah. I was like, I know he's gonna die, but please don't kill him. He's the source of comedy in this. Please don't take him away. It's too early for this. Short movie, 93 minutes.
It was very short.
It was a
banger. I mean,
it was quick.
If one thing that I can definitely say was a great positive in this movie is it was just go from start to finish.
Yeah, there was not a dull moment.
Lag.
Now, when the slow parts were slow for a reason, it served the story, and they did it really well. Like, it was, you could not have asked for a longer runtime on that movie.
I agree.
You couldn't even ask for a shorter runtime because it was just perfectly paced.
Right.
Now, I will say, from my own personal opinion, and this is just because where I saw the movie, I got taken out of the experience a few times, and this is where I get on my soapbox for a second. Anybody, and I repeat, anybody that answers their cell phone during a movie is the biggest piece of shit that ever lived. You should probably be shot for that. Unless it's an absolute emergency, which I know for a fact this asshole's wasn't, because he answered his phone a grand total of 3 times during the fucking movie. And you know what I heard him say each time? No, I'm not busy, man. What's up? What's up, que paso? I'll go, fuck yourself. Like, my brother had to stop me at one point because I was really starting to rage really hard. Like, I was about to go ballistic on this guy.
That's crazy.
You don't answer your movie or your phone during the movie. You just don't.
I agree.
It's the most rude, disrespectful thing you can do to people. I don't give a shit if you got your tickets for free, if it's discount night, whatever.
If you have to answer your phone, leave.
Yes, people pay money to go watch this movie and enjoy the experience and get taken out of their world for a second and just enjoy a story. You do not answer your phone. You do not talk. Hell, I don't even chew loudly when I'm in a theater because I am trying to be respectful to other people. The only thing I ask is people is respectful back. But some people don't think about it. And if you don't think about it, you're a selfish little asshole and you shouldn't go to the movie theater. Stay at home, watch it on your little TV screen of your phone. Bastard. Oh, I was so pissed.
And this has been a PSA.
Oh, I was mad. But, yeah, so he was actually on his phone during one of the bigger scenes of the movie. Oh. And that's why it ruined it for me. Because, so the monster is this, obviously, aquatic monster, and it's kind of humanoid. It's got razors and stuff. It's built for deep water stuff. Right. He's very transparent looking.
Yeah.
And they're vicious. And there's a bunch of them. Like, you think there's just 1 or 2 at first, but then it turns out there's a crap ton. They did a really good job building up the build-up.
They did.
To what this creature really looked like. You heard the banging on the outside, and they're like, okay, that's not debris, or that's not this. What the hell is it? And then they start seeing the humanoid creature kind of pop in and out, and you're like, oh, this shit's getting real. Yeah. And then when you finally get a glimpse of him, you're like, no,
don't need that.
And then when it tries
to
open its mouth all the way and
her whole
eat that helmet.
I mean, it eats her whole. Towards the end, it eats her whole, and she's got to shoot her way out of it. And it's just crazy.
Well, then you find out there's a bunch of them.
And
then the part where this guy got on his phone at was when you realize it's not just a bunch of them. There's a Cthulhu-looking motherfucker up in this place. Yeah. And this dude is huge. I mean, he's like Godzilla. He is
the size of this thing.
Huge. And he is haunting looking. And then you realize these creatures are like parasites that just sit inside his skin and come out when it's time to hunt and feed.
Yeah.
Which was even more disturbing.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Would I have shit a brick?
Well, yeah. And they had to walk through basically almost a mile. Yeah. Well, when they got actually to the last station, they had to walk through this dangling arms of all these creatures. And it was like, okay.
No, they didn't walk. They crawled while dragging a body.
Yeah.
When their buddies was down. There were survivors, though.
Mm-hmm.
A couple made it out.
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart did not.
No.
Her sacrifice was actually warranted, and it was pretty cool how she did. Like, that was the one thing about those people in this cast that you really like is they cared about the other people, and they weren't just out to survive. Like, there's always that one person in these type of movies that's just out to survive for themselves.
Right.
That was not the case in this movie.
Yeah, from the jump, it was really selfless
people.
Action. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really just considerate human beings that were trying to make sure they could all make it. And then if something came up, like one person knew they weren't going to make it, they weren't going to try to take the rest of them down. They're like, okay, hey, you get going. I'm going to take care of this. Like the captain went out like a baller. That was pretty cool.
It's pretty good
to make sure that they didn't fall. I mean, it was. I am no ocean expert by any stretch of imagination, but the way they explain things and the way it seemed very logical,
plausible, very logical. I mean, the only thing that I would be like, okay, these suits would have to be just
heavy as shit,
amazing to withstand that kind of pressure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you look at subs that go down that deep, I mean, they have little tiny portals that have 12-inch thick glass.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, these suits, it couldn't have happened, but it was great for this movie because they were able to say, okay, they have to be outside.
Well, it was definitely futuristic a little bit. I mean, it was still within the realm of this reality, but it was probably, let's say we started deep sea mining now, it would probably be about 50, 60 years in the future from now.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
With the way technology evolves and stuff. But the suits, that was the one part that really bothered me was when they first put on the suits. They had those cranes, those little helping them put the suits on
because they were so heavy.
And then all of a sudden, when they get to another station, they're taking them off by themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, finally. It's like, huh?
It's like, how'd you do that?
Wasn't that like 500 pounds just a second ago? Like, how are you getting these on and off by yourselves? You know what?
Problem.
Not even gonna sweat the logic. I don't give a shit. You're giving me giant monster and little tiny. I'm in. Yeah. Whatever. Who cares at this point? But it was very well done, very well made. It wasn't. They did a really good job. Like, I was really worried that they weren't going to show the monsters too much.
I was too.
And then you really got some good, like you said, one of them tried to eat her. And the way she got out of that was pretty cool. She blew it out from the inside with a gun that she had. It was a gun. It was a torch. It was like a welding torch or something. It was pretty cool. They really did get a couple scenes of the big monster, and you're like,
it's like you said, a Cthulhu type creature, kind of coupled with. It kind of put me in mind of the Kraken and.
The remake of Clash of the Titans. Yeah, exactly. not the old Clash of the Titans.
Not the
remake.
But the remake of Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, really big and bulky. It looked like it had multiple mouths.
Yeah,
but I'd have to go watch it again. I have to freeze frame on that thing and just study it because it was wicked looking.
Because it was, really of course, dark and murky, but it was still visible enough that you could see these.
Well, they did a good job of keeping it lit up because they had those water light buoys underneath, kind of like lighting the way to the next station.
Right.
And it kind of like lit up enough of the area, and they had flashlights and stuff on them. But that one monster attacked the last station that they were in, trying to get to the escape pods to get back to the surface. And the station's lights were all up, and you could see the monster in its full glory, just hammering down on that station, breaking it off section by section. But Kristen Stewart really had the coolest send-off in that movie, too, where she took not just all the little monsters out to give the people time to escape in the escape pods.
The big one
and
also.
If anybody asks why she didn't make it out, there was only 2 escape pods, and she
Right.
forced the other 2 to go without really them knowing until it was like
Well, there were 3, but one was damaged.
Yes.
So they,
So there was
the other
only
2
2
had
pretty
to go.
much
Yeah.
that could make it work, and so she sacrificed herself by blowing up the whole station by getting the reactors to overheat
Right.
and blow up the whole station. And that was really cool how you saw the monster trying to escape the explosion, and it just swallowed him up. It was definitely worth seeing on a big screen because it gets you into the atmosphere. You're in a dark theater with a big screen, and the music in that movie sold it. I mean, you know who did the music? Because I do. It's Marco Beltrami, excuse me. He did the music for Wolverine and Logan, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I mean, let me double check. Yeah, he did the music for Hellboy, Wolverine, Logan, Live Free or Die Hard, Terminator 3.
Oh, nice.
He did a lot of good movies.
Yeah,
I mean, I
very
love...
good.
Oh, and Snowpiercer. And 3:10 to Yuma.
Okay.
So he does a lot of good movies. And that Logan soundtrack was really amazing. So he knows his stuff. And he knows how to set the atmosphere and the mood for a movie with his music. I always advocated this, and I will preach it till the day I die. Good music, or movie music in general, will either make or break a movie.
It can.
Oh, it absolutely will. I mean,
Definitely.
there's very few movies
You can't.
where they're filmed well enough to where you could do it without music.
Yeah, you can't set a tone properly without it.
The music sells it, no matter what you do. You could make a shitty scene really good depending on the music. The music will sell it for you every time. But as a whole, the movie was good. I think it's worth checking out on the large screen, especially on a discount night or something. Cinemark always has those $5
I agree.
Tuesday
I would
nights.
say that early show or a discount night, something like that. Like I said, I believe it was a good, entertaining movie because I think you get a lot of action, a lot of suspense. I mean, honestly, there were definitely parts where it said, okay, how are they gonna get out of this? What's gonna happen next? Where's this crazy creature at? Because I mean, it's so murky and dark in there, and it's like you get a flash of it. It's like, oh,
there it is.
So yeah,
and then you get the full glory shot, and you're like, no,
I'm not. I don't think
those
we
things
need to
can
be
rip through those suits and
Oh,
yank
gosh,
people out
man.
and mow them down. They were tough little bastards.
And
Now-
like you said, they did a very good job making them tough, but also
Beatable.
translucent and they looked very weak and malleable, but they were the creatures that would live in that pressure and in that environment. So
Well, it's not like they were unbeatable, kind of like how the Alien was in
No.
Alien. These things were killable, and they made a point to show that they were killable.
yeah,
I mean, the aliens are killable, but they were hard to kill. These
Yeah,
guys were
very
killing them with things that they just had lying around.
Right.
You didn't see that happen in
Yeah.
the first Alien. Now, granted, there was just one of them, and you couldn't kill him right off the bat. And what's the point in that? There's no fun in that. But it was a good movie. I mean, it was a lot of solid fun. They did set itself up for a sequel. Did you catch that toward the end where they were showing during the credits
Yeah.
the news clipping? They work for a company called the TN Corporation. It's TN, right?
TN,
That
yeah.
sounds about right. The TN Corporation, and they were covering it up and saying deep sea drilling was going to commence. That was just an accident. They don't
another,
know
yeah.
I got the sinking suspicion that they were aware those creatures were down there, but from before, because
Oh,
it seems
of
like they've
course.
had those accidents before. I mean, it's your typical aliens situation where you have this big corporation trying to get their hands on these things and
Right.
do whatever they can with them. I would love to see that sequel, whatever they do with it, to like, you know, how they have
Else.
Alien and then Aliens,
Right.
where it was like a totally different action genre type situation. That'd have been cool to see for this. But I think with its box office return, we will
we
never
will not
see
see
that.
it.
Unless something changes and it starts making some money. Or DVD sales are through the roof.
Yeah. Like you said, I don't see that happening.
Which is a bummer. Because it was actually a good movie. I will not say this often, but it was one of Kristen Stewart's very few good movies.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, she's eyed every now and then. She's no Robert Pattinson, that's for sure. Robert Pattinson kills. Like, he's good.
Just
Finally watched The Lighthouse, and he was really good in that.
Gosh.
It was a rough movie, but it was
Yikes.
yeah, not nowhere near as crazy as that, but it was a good movie. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
Skeleton. What did you say?
This one's getting a 6-7.
Yeah, I'd give it about a 6.5 myself.
Yeah.
Which is not often that I give something lower than you, but
Right.
I think I need to watch it again in a theater where an asshole is not answering his phone like a giant prick. If that asshole is by chance listening to this and you know who you are, go fuck yourself. That's all I have to say. I'm at the Cinemark quite often. You know where to find me. Bastard. Alright, well, we're going to go... Next, we're going to do Bad Boys, right?
That's
we
right.
got quite a few movies to get to next. We got
we do.
So we got this one done. Then we got Bad Boys for Life, which I'm really excited about. And then we got to do our retro review for the month, which is The Lonely Guy.
Correct.
And then 1917, which I finally got to watch.
Awesome movie.
Oh, it's going to be so good. All right. So that's what's coming up soon. So I hope you guys are having a good time, enjoying watching movies and listening to us talk about these movies. Quick little thing. We did start a Facebook page. It's out there. So we'll link it. Or anytime we have a new episode, we'll put it there so everybody knows when one comes up. We're on Podomatic and Spotify, obviously. We're trying to get ourselves on iTunes, but we're having a hard time figuring that out. Still working on that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. So, let us know what you guys think. And if there's anything you guys want us to go see that we haven't gone seen or talk about that we haven't talked about, just feel free to let us know.
Yeah, anytime, any movie that, you want us to review or whatever, just let us know on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Please do. All right. Well, I've been Kendrick.
And I'm Mark.
And this has been Movies in Black and White.